my friends, you have suffered a terrible, terrible fate. You see, you've decided to click upon and examine my brand new podcast, Talky Hippos. Podcast that I hope to have many, many episodes of and share my stories with all you wonderful people out there. And I'm sure some of you may be wondering, what exactly is the meaning behind that title, Talky Hippo? Well, I'll tell you, it actually reminds me of a time I was with my good friend Orville, and he looks to me, he says, "Friend, you tell me so many stories," which, needless to say, was true. I had quite a bit of stories to tell him. But he says, "Friend, with all these stories you tell me, why don't you tell anyone else? You should record them and put them out online on the internet so that all the wonderful people could hear your stories. You know, I've actually heard some people say you have a very soft-spoken voice, a very, very soothing voice. You know, you could record it sort of like a sleepy time story podcast type thing, where you could talk to the people, let them go to sleep, and just tell your stories, and people would listen." And I said, You've got a point there, friend. I think that could be a good idea. Needless to say, I love telling my stories, but to have other people hear them, have them potentially calm down at the end of a hard day at work by listening to one of my stories, it filled me with joy. But I looked at him and I said, "Friend, what am I going to call this podcast?" Well, I looked at Orville and he had a gleam in his eye, gleam I hadn't seen since we were children on Christmas morning. I remember we woke up together and we found all those presents under the tree. We raced down to the tree to see who could open up their presents the fastest. I found my first top hat, and needless to say, that's what helped me turn into the hippo I am today. And Orville, he actually had a very, very nice watering can. You know, a lot of people don't know it, but Orville actually used to have a fascination with gardening. Sadly, he kind of grew out of that. It makes me sad, you know, when you see a friend of yours have such a passion for something, and then they grow away from it, and they don't have the same spark about it they used to. But you know, people change, and I'm sure their interests must change too. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes. The gleam in his eye when he looked at me and said, "Friend, I've got the perfect title for your podcast. Talky Hippos." I looked at him with a somewhat quizzical look, but also a slight bit of disdain, and he looked at me, he said, "Friend, what's wrong? Clearly you understand where I'm coming from. It's a play on the classic board game of Hungry Hippos. You do know, you remember that game, right?" Unfortunately, I had. You see, I had a cousin, Morton, that I used to hang around a lot when I was younger, but unfortunately, Morton was the subject of much schoolyard bullying. There was these horrible kids. They would look at him and they would pick on him, because sadly Morton, he did have a little bit of a weight problem. Not that I'm the pinnacle of skinniness myself, but you understand what I mean. The kids, you have it hard when you look out of shape, and Morton, he looked very out of shape, and this poor boy, he was just picked on by all these kids going up to him. "Hey, Morton, are you hungry? Are you a hungry hippo, Morton? You want to go get some food?" Oh, it was horrible. Well, thankfully, Morton was able to move away. His family, they had enough of it. They moved to a new town across the state line, and they were very happy after that. Should really give Morton a call. It's been a while since I talked to Morton. I bet you things are going a lot better for him. I saw a picture of him recently. It looked like he may have lost some weight, and I'm proud of him for that. You know, he's moving on past what's behind him, and he's trying to make a better future. But anyway, that's how my friend Orville helped me come up with the name of this podcast, Talky Hippos. Oh, what a fine name it is.